I just came back from our trip to New Zealand and it was amazing. And for those of you who are planning to visit there, then you must know how expensive it can be. So I wanted to use this video to share my experience and explain the different types of transportation you can take to get from one city to the next, and maybe list out their pros and cons so hopefully it can make your trip planning much easier. So let's start out with an example. Let's say we want to travel from Auckland to Wellington. As you can see, there's different ways of getting there. So let's start off with renting a car. So if you're going with Avis, for example, you can see it's crazy to rent a car. So this I'm only choosing one day, and for the subcompact car, you're paying $381 New Zealand dollars. That's very pricey. Another one I looked into, which is a very popular car rental place in New Zealand, is Jucy. We actually see their cars everywhere. And even with them, we took the cheapest car. As you can see, they called it El Cheapo. And we didn't take any insurance, and we didn't take any other things. And the total comes up to $51. But don't forget, there's also gas that you have to include. And gas is very expensive in New Zealand, so you have to account for that as well. Another way from getting from Auckland to Wellington is by train. So you can go with Kiwi Rail, but as you can see, the prices are pretty high. And the one bad thing about booking a train, well, maybe it's only for the Auckland to Wellington line, they're only available 3 days out of 7 during the week. So if you're on a strict schedule, then this could be kind of a bummer. So another option is to take a plane. And if you fly with Air New Zealand, you can see that there's tickets as low as $59, which is not bad at all. But you have to consider that there's extra cost for choosing a seat, and if you're bringing in a luggage, then there's extra fees for that too. So with that said, it's pretty good because you're able to save some time. It's only 1 hour long, the flight. So there's definitely pros and cons about that. One thing I forgot to mention is that on the plane, you're not able to see the scenery and everything. So yes, it is shorter, but you're missing out on the experience. And finally, the last option I'm going to talk about is taking the bus with Intercity. So I chose here also Auckland to Wellington, and you can see that the prices are much lower than what we've seen before. So you can go as low as $29, and there's a bit more expensive one, which has more comfier seats. But overall, buses are they're very comfortable. I actually got onto the one from Auckland to Wellington, and we did buy the gold seats, which are the $49 ones, and they're very comfy. And overall, it was a bit long, the ride. I think it took a total of 9 hours, but overall we got to enjoy the scenery. We didn't have to drive, and it was the cheapest option we could find. So definitely, I'd say that taking the bus is one of the best options if you're on a budget, if you're not pressed on time, and if you want to enjoy the scenery. Then I definitely do agree that you should take the bus. It's a pretty good experience. The other cool thing about Intercity is that they offer travel passes. So, for instance, depending on where you want to go and where you want to see, they have different types of passes available and different prices where you can hop on and hop off, do the different activities for pretty good prices. So, for instance, these are all the tours, and you can see the different places they go to. So I would definitely suggest you take a look at that. And that could be one of a good options for you to save some money too. Hope this video was helpful, and if you're planning a trip to New Zealand, feel free to ask me any questions you may have below, and I'll try to give you some useful advice. Thank you!